That's close enough. What is up, Airsoft nerds? I am joined, obviously, always by Bo, my co-host, who is bringing me a ball as he is just waking up from his 5th nap today. This is the after-action review video for Kharkiv Hammer 2025. And by after-action review, I mean, like, as far as my experience with my gear and my preparations and blah, blah, blah. So hopefully, if it's 2026 and you're looking to go to the Kharkiv event for Milsim West, this will help give you some extra perspective. Now, the packing video I initially did dramatically changed because the weather changed. So if you watch my first packing video, it was all about keeping things dry and rain protection, blah, 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 keeping things dry, so on and so forth. As it got closer, about 2 weeks out, the weather started to change from like rain Saturday to absolutely nothing all weekend. So I modified my gear as such. I have a IG Live that I did about kind of like my readjustment on stuff. If you'd like to watch that or just watch this, it's the same damn thing. But the big changes was I did not bring my sleeping bag. I packed it just in case, but the main part of my sleep system was this, my bivy bag. I was initially going to go in even without this. Then I realized like it does get kind of wet in the air, and that leads to some morning dew situations that are just annoying. So I brought this as basically one big waterproof layer, an outer layer for a sleep system. I also, oh, there's some dirt that I brought back with me. I also used as the main blanket or the main warming layer, this. It's my Kifaru Whoopee. It's double insulated. It's like $180 or whatever. It's a giant Whoopee blanket, and the thing is freaking awesome. That was my main blanket that I used. Wife's not gonna like that dirt. Anyway, and that was it. I slept pretty okay with that on the first night. It was 40, I think Friday night was 43 degrees Fahrenheit, and Saturday night was 45 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere in there. But it didn't get any colder than 43 degrees, and there was really no breeze at night, maybe like a slight one. And that was it. It was just a dry cold. One thing to keep in mind is that in that AO, not so much on Friday, but Saturday night, the air got a little thick with cold air, I guess, and that sort of made everything around it a little wet. Not crazy wet, but not fun, not enjoyable, right? Not preferred. So Friday night, I just slept in my clothes. I did not wear my shoes. I'll talk about that in a second. Friday night, it was just pants, what I was wearing, like normal uniform stuff, and then a jacket over it, plus this guy. And that was fine. And it was cold, but it was manageable. I had a harder time sleeping on an angle because I kept kind of sliding down every now and then. Anyway, that was the worst part of the night. But as far as keeping warm, I did just fine without a sleeping bag, and you can too. Saturday night, I started to get a little experimental. So I started with just these as an outer warming pant. These are just Carhartt waterproof bib coveralls. I had my Bo, you knocked the phone, buddy. Not trying to give guys an earthquake simulator, Bo. I wore my rain pants outside of my normal pants. Then I wore my uniform top got really sweaty and wet, so I took that off, shedded that. So I had a long sleeve blue stripe VDV shirt on. Then my rain jacket, my green REI rain jacket, and then over that, my Gorka canvas jacket, which is... So this is my green REI rain jacket, and then my Gorka jacket as an outer layer. So I had shirt and 2 jackets, and I was just showing, and on my head I wear a black balaclava and a green merino wool fleece watch cap, because my head gets really cold, because obviously there's no warmth up there. Plus your face will get cold too, and that's also really annoying. Bo, I love you. So Saturday night was experimental, and I was pretty okay with that, with just that, until about maybe 2 in the morning or so, where it started to get kind of cold, and then sort of that cold air settled, and I started to get a little wet. Not terribly, but I wasn't as comfortable as I wanted to be. So I took that, went inside my bivvy, grabbed my fleece whoopee, and I was fine. Again, totally fine. So the moral of this story is, if it's not going to get below 40 degrees, you don't really need a sleeping bag. You can get away without it. Now, the reason I didn't take it is because I wanted that extra. I just wanted to see how minimalistic I could get, knowing this AO, you can be minimalistic, meaning there's not always going to be crazy weather. So since it was nice spring, there was no rain. The highs during the day was like 60, 70. It was a gorgeous spring day. So I got experimental, I got minimalist, and went, can I survive without a sleeping bag, using a couple other things that will pack down more easier? The answer is yes. You do not need a sleeping bag if it's not going to rain and if it's going to be no colder than 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Other gear adjustments I made, that was pretty much the big one. I started with my regular dry shoes, just my regular Mara Moabs. Then again, I forgot how wet that grass gets out there, and marching around in the dark, you don't know if you're stepping in a puddle or not. So my shoes were a lake. By about midnight, 1 a.m., I was sloshing around in a little bit of water, not having the best time of my life. That was probably the worst part of the weekend for me. So I swapped into my waterproof shoes. Did not have any issues after that. I was good to go. Past that, looking at the rest of my gear, I was good. That was pretty much it. I didn't really need to make any adjustments on the fly. As far as pre-event preparation, you do want to get in some sort of physical fitness. My gym routine is going into this was a mile to a mile and a half, with either anywhere between a 6.5 to a 7 speed on the treadmill. No, flat, totally flat. If I do even a half incline on the treadmill, my back hates it. However, I do the Stairmaster for usually level 5 or level 6 for about 6 minutes. That'll get me anywhere between about 20 to 22 flights of stairs. Then I'll go lift weights for about 40 minutes of whatever weightlifting routine I want to do. And then cool down 10 minutes in the sauna, a few minutes in the hot tub, and then a few minutes in the pool. I did that several times a week, and I'm telling you, this was probably the easiest time I had. And we were on the north end, the far side of the map, and going through all the hills. I was fine. Like, guys would step off, get winded, lose their breath, all that stuff. I was doing really good. I was very surprised at how well prepared physically I was for this event. That's all I can really think of. Other than that, it's just kind of a normal Milsim West Kharkiv. You could probably watch any other video I have in reference to it and get a good gist of it. But unless you guys have any questions, that's it. Love you guys.